Divisional Commander of the Airport Divisional Police, Isaac Kwadwo Asante, has assured the public that the police will ensure justice is served as they are rigorously investigating the matter.
Social media has been buzzing since the early hours of Monday morning when the news of an alleged rape case involving a 19-year-old victim and a Lebanese national, Haddad Rabi, was reported. Following this disturbing allegation, GH1 News team followed up to the East Legon police station where the case was reported. Upon arrival, the station was thronged with spectators and relatives of both the victim and suspects. The victim, whose name has been withheld, narrated her ordeal to the news team. According to her, this is the fourth sexual abuse she has been subjected to by Haddad.
Before Saturday,
my madam stepped out early in the morning. Immediately she left, my boss asked me to go and bath and come and prepare coffee for him. After bathing, I went to my room to dress up. He screamed and asked me to come and prepare the coffee since he was in a hurry to step out. I insisted I wanted to finish dressing up, but he declined. I went and prepared the coffee and took it to him. When I entered his room, he pulled me to his bed, took off my clothes and slept with me. I wept and then he opened the door and asked me to go out.
Addressing the media, Divisional Commander Isaac Kwadwo Asante of the Airport Divisional Police said investigation is currently ongoing. He insisted all police operating procedures were followed when the case was first reported.
We are investigating two cases. The first one that was lodged at Airport Police Station and the one that has been lodged here as a rape case against the Lebanese. But it's still investigation. That is why I was telling you must give us some time so that we can go a bit further with the investigation so that we can tell you more about that. Now, as I speak, I've invited the personnel at the airport and I'm interrogating them.
He further disclosed that the victim has undergone some medical checks and soon the results will be made known to the general public. He affirmed that the victim is currently at the Dofsu division of the East Legon police station undergoing counseling and if need be will be referred to a psychologist for further assistance. This case has not only aroused public interest, but that also of the former Attorney General Marieta Brew Apiaopong, who made her way to the police station for first-hand information when she read it on social media.
We are fortunate to have caught this one early so that the investigation can be done properly. Very often by the time you become aware of a situation like this, time has elapsed, evidence is lost, and it becomes very difficult to follow up on it. That's why we are very keen on following up on this one to make sure that the proper investigation and proper prosecution is also done. I am definitely going to follow up on this to make sure that justice is done.
The former Attorney General Marieta Brew Apiaopong is going to represent the victim in this case on pro bono basis. It was reported that the victim sought help from some police officers who were on duty at a nearby house. The police officers, she noted, apprehended the suspect and took him to the airport police station, but on reaching there, a policewoman on duty led the team back to the suspect's home. On reaching the house, the policewoman allegedly took 350 cedis, being the victim's salary for the month of November 2017, from the suspect and handed it over to the young lady. The victim said the policewoman stayed on until she had packed her belongings out of the suspect's home.
Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Maafo has put all persons who have wronged the country through various corrupt practices on notice that their days are numbered. According to Yao Osafo-Maafo, government has begun investigating and cataloguing some corrupt officials and institutions whose names will soon be made public to face prosecution. Now, the senior minister made these remarks at a forum to launch this year's National Anti-Corruption and Transparency Week in Accra.
My late husband and I worked 5 years to buy and register this land. Here are the documents. Well, everything is here.
I was a hard-working civil servant for 36 good years. My pension is only 450 Ghana cedis.
Last year, a man came and started building. He said it's his, but out of pity, he will give me 2,000 Ghana cedis for a land that is worth 60,000 Ghana cedis. Hey, I didn't take it.
But when I read about the 72 million US dollars Smith corruption scandal, oh my God, I was sad. So sad.
The canker of corruption in Ghana, whether perceived or real, continues to be a bigger concern for a lot of Ghanaians. This is because of its cost to the nation, which stands at $1 billion annually. It is said that in Ghana, many people are deprived of their most basic needs and go to bed hungry every night, mainly because of corruption, while the powerful and corrupt enjoy lavish lifestyles with impunity.
I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions.
Many Ghanaians have wondered why the president appears slow and cautious in dealing with alleged corrupt officials and institutions, especially when he made it clear during his swearing-in that he is in a hurry to implement his marathon of promises made to Ghanaians in the build-up to the 2016 elections. But Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Maafo insists government at the moment feels inadequate to aggressively pursue such corrupt entities.
In a hurry, but it must be based on facts and figures. You cannot just be in a hurry to come to wrong conclusions.
You don't have the facts yet?
Not yet, no. We are still, we have facts on some of them, some we are adding. You want to have a foolproof documentation. You are going to go to court. The people will also take lawyers, and you are going to debate it. So you just don't think that if you don't do a good preparation, you don't do a good case, you're going to lose a case in court.
Yao Osafo-Maafo, however, cautioned that those who have robbed the nation should not jubilate yet, as names of corrupt individuals and organizations will soon be made public to face prosecution.
We don't want to do this in a hurry. We must do thorough investigation. We should do things in such a way that we are our political opponents. Far from it. We must do it in such a way that people who have wronged the system are identified through thorough, and the emphasis is thorough investigation, and the answer for their crimes. We have the laws of this land, and we must use the laws of the land, not to punish anybody because of being an opponent, but to punish people because they have wronged the system, they have been corrupt in the system. So investigations are still going on, and very soon I think the results will be out for every Ghanaian to hear and to see.
The 2016 edition of the Corruption Perception Index scored Ghana 43 points out of a possible clean score of 100 and showed that Ghana's performance has dropped by 4 percentage points from its 2015 score of 47 points. The score also indicates that in spite of Ghana's effort at fighting corruption, the canker was still a serious problem, and that Ghana's score of 43 points was a likely reflection of the many exposés of public sector corruption in the last few years, including the police recruitment scam and the Ghana Youth Employment and JIDA scandal.
We don't need charity. Those other persons with disabilities are not second-class citizens, and release the common fund of PWDs without further delays. These were some of the inscriptions on placards that persons with disabilities carried through town to send a strong signal against how they are treated in the country. They want their rights respected instead of showing them charity, among others. Now, the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations says says even the release of the 3% share of the common fund is a problem.
With placards in their hands, several persons with all forms of disabilities took to the streets in Accra to mark the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Inscriptions on some of the placards were, "We don't need charity, we need our rights. Education is our right. PWDs are not second-class citizens, and release the common fund of PWDs without further delays," among others. This was to drum home their challenges, which they say have been there for far too long without any better solutions. Speaking in an interview with the news team, President of the GFD, Yao Ufori Deborah, commended government and other stakeholders, both present and past, on progress made so far. He, however, called on government to pay critical attention to employment of persons with disability and resolve issues surrounding the disbursement of the 3% of the District Assembly's Common Fund meant for persons with disabilities.
If we take the implementation of the Common Fund for persons with disability, there are many persistent complaints about some of the district authorities not serving the interests of persons with disability with their money. Some of them divert their money to other users, some of them shortchange them, and some of them are completely denied of the access to such fund. There are so many persons with disability pursuing various courses of study, but when they complete, they find it very difficult to get job.
Speaking at the event, Gender Minister Otiko Jaba assured her ministry will work at making life worth living for the disabled, calling on the Common Fund Administrator to work closely with the MMDAs to release the Common Fund to the disabled by the close of the year.
It is gratifying to note that the Ministry of Gender has also launched a program dubbed #Operation Get Off the Streets Now for a Better Life. It will remove hawkers, beggars, disabled, mentally ill, anybody who is on or lives off the streets. We are telling you today that the time has come for you to get off the street now. The streets are no place to make a living, and begging is not dignified. It is not a profession.
Founder of the Girls Education Initiative of Ghana, Elizabeth Patterson, who was at the event, called for a better implementation of the inclusive education policy.
A number of my girls are dyslexic, and one has dyscalculia as well, which means that they learn English and math differently. And I believe that there's no system really in place for educators to fully understand what it means for a student to have a learning difference or a learning disability.
International Day of Persons with Disabilities is commemorated on December 3 every year to promote the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities. The day is also to create awareness of the situation of persons with disabilities in every aspect of political, social, economic and cultural life. Alice Ahite, GH1 News.